Okay, we're back by the truck now, and I get the putty here. And I gotta set this down for a second to open this up. So again, we're gonna just basically work on pushing it into the seam. So there should be not really no gaps anyway, because we welded all the way across with the spot welder. But we just want to make sure that all the edges are sealed and that's pushed in there. So I'm gonna get started here. And I'm gonna take this, you probably can't see it, but I'm gonna put it like probably about 10 or 12 drops worth in there. I'm gonna mix it up. And it's just like Bondo, you gotta mix it really well. Keep kneading it back and forth. There's no real way to tell when it's ready. I mean, you just gotta, you know, go back and forth with the mixing on there to make sure you want it mixed well, because you want it to dry. You don't want any parts to stay wet. So keep scraping it off there, and I kind of think I gotta get the mixture going pretty good. So I'm gonna start putting it on to give you the idea. And like I say, you don't want to take too long doing it, because the shelf life of this once it's mixed is not long. So we're gonna go on the seam to start with. We're just gonna go concentrate on the seam. And you can kind of tell, you know, as you're doing it, if you're running out of time, you'll feel the putty start getting hard. You know, it's going pretty good so far. I'm just working fast. I don't want to run out of time. I mixed really more than what I wanted to. So I'm going to try and get this on. Like I say, go, you know, try to push it directly into the seams. Like, in case there's any gaps, it pushes into the gap. Also on the, you know, wheel opening side, you know, where the panel overlapped it, where you started the weld. Okay, now that I got that, now I'm just gonna, got a little extra, just build up across a couple of the seams that really look low. I'm not worried about building it up as much as it is, you know, really just smoothing it out. Because we're gonna use the Bondo for really to build up. This is, like I, you know, mentioned, is really just like a sealer to help keep the moisture out. And it's already, I feel it, you know, it's getting harder to push, which is okay, because I pretty much got it all on, everything on I want. Okay, so we're back. The aluminum coating is dried. It's been about an hour or so. I gotta take the DA. I got some used 40 grade sandpaper on the DA. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go across this and scuff it up and take the shine off there. You know, kind of like we do with Bondo before we start working with it with a file. And I just want to take off all the rough edges and smooth it down and get it prepped. And then our next step will be starting to do some Bondo work. So I'll give you an idea here with the so you can kind of see how it's turning, you know, you're taking the shine off there, the gray. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take it all off, and you can kind of see where the panel was, the little lip. We want to just kind of not take everything off, but we just want to take the the rough edges off it that gets the sandpaper on the air files. And we're just going to smooth it out and just take all that shine off, that dark gray shine. And then we'll be ready for Bondo. Okay, so I'm back. I mixed a little bit of Bondo here. Let's start at this end right here. I'm just going to work the main seam area to start with. And no, I'm not doing a lot all at one time. I don't want to overdo it. It's better if you put it on slow, you know, thinner layers, multiple layers versus, you know, one big heavy layer. You know, with the thinner layers, you can, you know, you make sure you don't have any like grooves or air bubbles in the Bondo. You know, as you're putting it on. I know there's going to be multiple layers. I mean, it's like, I'm not the best body man. It's actually been a while since I did body work. But you just got to pick your spot and, you know, start wherever, you know, whether it's the left side, the right side, whatever works for you. And just slowly build up on it. I mean, it's not a race, so you don't need to you don't need to get it all done in one coat. I mean, it's much better to do light, small coats. So I'm actually at the end of my Bondo with this layer, and I think I'm going to leave it just as it is, and we'll see where we go. I mean, next couple steps will be like we just did with the aluminum. I'll let it dry. I'll do a light scuffing to take the shine off. You know, if you just like start trying to sand it all out with the air file, all you're going to do is plug the paper up with the rough edges, with that shiny coat. It's like, no matter how long it dries, it's always gooey, and that first skin will plug the paper up. So you want to use like an old paper like I did with the DA, just to take the shine off. Okay, so I let the first coat dry and I scuffed it up, took the shine off, and I added more Bondo further out. You know, I spread it out past the patch area so I can smooth it. It's not looking too bad, so now I have to just let this all dry. We just have to wait, let it dry, and I just keep sanding it down, and I'll show you the updates as we go along. Okay, so we're back. I sanded the Bondo down, and as I thought, it took like 3 coats, you know, 3 not heavy coats, but I sanded the first coat down with the air file. I built up a little bit more and just kept building up, and, you know, working it with the air file. Pretty good now. So what I did, I just cleaned it all up, the dust and everything. Now I'm going to put a couple light coats of primer, and what I like using is this Rust-Oleum primer. It's a 2-in-1. It's a filler and it's sandable. It's a thicker primer than most spray cans. So I'm not using professional equipment. I'm not going to buy a gallon of primer at the auto parts store for the little bit I have to do here. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to give it a couple coats, and when it dries, probably tomorrow, I'm going to come back out here and sand it again with maybe like a 320 DA paper, or finer paper, and I'm going to resand it, and I'm going to build it up. I'm going to use this like 2 or 3 times. What this will do is it'll fill in all the cracks and little crevices. And, you know, after a few coats of doing that, to build it up, it should be almost paintable. It should be paintable.